Hello, Charlotte. Congratulations on your documentary. Oh my goodness, so good.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be diving into it, but real quickly, everyone, we'll be talking about JFK One Day in America. All episodes premiere on National Geographic on November 5th and was streamed the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. I watched the first episode and wow, what a masterpiece. You and your team put together such a great documentary. And my first question is, how much footage did you go through and how long did it take you?
It took a long time. I mean, obviously, there was hours and hours and hours. We had three archive producers, to be fair, so it wasn't necessarily, us looking through all of it, but it was a lengthy and time-consuming process, but a very enjoyable one. Because there was so much incredible footage and archive and police recordings and photographs and radio recordings. And I think that's what was so special about making the series in a way, was that we could kind of connect this very sort of personal, intimate testimonies from eyewitnesses with archive where they appeared in, but also the fact that it was, the advent of live television and the fact that they were able to kind of capture these unfolding events that were quite remarkable. And so we had a really good pick of footage that we could choose from. So it was amazing and really, yeah, really powerful.
Very cool. It was what a build up to the assassinations. Most specials I've seen on the JFK assassination is just focuses on the assassination and the aftermath. But I love
Yeah.
how y'all painted the whole story of the day, told from the Secret
Yeah.
Service people all the way to people who are in the crowd. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I think that was the point of the series, is that we really wanted to get that very kind of immersive, visceral, kind of emotional feeling of these, of what these key witnesses saw and experienced on a very human level, and to really sort of bring the audience to their story, but through a very through a very emotional way, but and very much minute by minute, so we really wanted to transport our sort of interviewees back to that moment so they can relive and recount it in a way that felt really kind of quite raw and authentic, and as if we were there with them on their journey.
Oh, you nailed it. Another thing I really learned was, I mean, how much of a rock star Jackie Kennedy was at that time. I
I,
mean, oh,
I
she
know.
doesn't wear pink; it's strawberry or
I
raspberry.
know.
It's like
I love that. Sid Davis, he was so brilliant. But yeah, she was incredible. And I think that's why, he was so popular as well, which I think we kind of, hopefully we explore that. And
Oh, absolutely.
in the first episode, he really understood her magnetism and her charisma as well. I mean, he was equally as charismatic as her, but I think the two of them together was this kind of like super couple, that kind of really, they were just so captivating. And so stunning, and I think that sort of home movie footage at the very beginning, you really sort of kind of, it really humanizes them as family people rather than politicians,
Oh,
in a way
absolutely.
that perhaps people haven't seen before. And I think it makes you sort of kind of fall in love with them, and you feel really emotionally invested in them, much more through that kind of quite slow pacing, and the way we sort of take you back to that time. And then the build up to that tragic event, you really sort of feel the loss much more because you've seen them in a much more humanized way.
Absolutely. I had no idea that Dallas was a hotspot for kind of political unrest during this time period. I mean, you showed the people in the crowd the Confederate flags, and it does kind of imitate the political times we've seen lately in this country. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of, there's quite a lot of parallels, isn't there? You realize that a lot hasn't changed. So yeah, I think I wasn't quite aware of that either, actually. Obviously being British, we came at this from a slightly new perspective, but we learned a lot, from interviewing all these people, and the fact that Dallas, they were concerned about Dallas and they were concerned about Texas. Already, but they also had an incredible welcome from Texas as well. So yeah, it was quite surprising, but there are certainly parallels that run through now.
One thing I really loved as an art form choice was you kind of mixed black and white footage with color. You could have probably colorized everything, but I liked how you still kept some of it black and white to kind of show that, hey, this was a time period that happened a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, actually, some of the archive we couldn't colorize; we weren't
Oh.
allowed to. But probably about 80% of the archive came from the Sixth Floor Museum, who we kind of worked in collaboration with. Sixth Floor Museum at Dealey Plaza, and they allowed us to colorize the footage for the very first time. They've never allowed that to happen. I think they were sort of convinced by our sort of integrity and what we've made before, and what, you know, our ambition to sort of try and appeal to a wider, younger audience, perhaps.
Oh, very cool.
Risk. And I think actually mixing the black and white and the color is really actually a really good mix, because it reminds you that it was this very historic event and we're in the past, but then you get these kind of little moments of, like, you know, of feeling like you connect to it more because it's been colorized, and it brings it to life a little bit more. So yeah, it's interesting to see this footage that lots of people have seen before, but, you know, colorized. So
yeah, shows how great 72 Films is what you work for. So I gave you permission for that. So
it's a very lengthy process.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you and your team did an amazing job. Everyone make sure to check out the doc series, JFK One Day in America. All episodes premiere on National Geographic November 5th, and we'll stream the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu.